I'll check us in. Haithem squeezed my palm before letting my hand go. I took a few agonized steps towards the fountain in the center of the lobby, then lowered myself onto the edge. Shoes clicked on tiles, and luggage trolleys rolled, every sound circling around and around the dome in the center of the foyer. My head radiated with noise. You just fly in? An elderly couple took a seat beside me at the fountain. I blinked. Yes. Short and sweet. That's how you lie. At least, that's how I did. Not too many details to trip up on. Holiday? I glanced at the check-in counter. Honeymoon, I said, and ended with a yawn. Yep, just a sleepy honeymooner here. Ah, you're Australian, she said, her own British accent clinging to her words like a geographical stamp. Damn it. Really? I'd only said 2 words. This is why it was better to avoid small talk altogether. Barry, this young woman is from Australia. She tapped the man beside her on the arm. We're touring Australia next. Her husband shut his paper and placed it on his lap. Are you now? Yep. Haithem turned from the check-in counter. Australia will be our 6th continent. That's it for me. Barry wants to make it 7. Haithem caught my eye, and I smiled pleadingly. Barry says it's not at all that far from Australia to Antarctica, but I told him he'd be doing that trip on his own. Haithem walked towards us, careful long strides, shoulders low and relaxed, but he took in every detail of the couple beside me. For a moment I wondered if the old woman would peel off her face to reveal Tom Cruise inside. I have enough problems in my life, I told him, without having to squeeze my fat backside into thermal underwear. The image of this sassy old woman squeezing into thermals flashed in my mind. A short burst of laughter left my lips and echoed through the dome. I glanced at the elderly couple. My gaze caught on the newspaper on Barry's lap. A word flashed like a homing beacon, almost vibrating to my eye. It should. That word was the first I'd ever learned. I'd been trained to look for that word my entire life. My name. The smile died on my lips with a stiffening atrophy that froze it in place. A cadaver smile. Half the picture below the headline disappeared over the fold, but I knew that photo, of Emma and I. She'd been cropped out. My blood chilled cooler than my smile. I was in a newspaper. Here, in India, on the paper in this couple's hand. I tried to breathe past the fist in my throat, but the truth hit me as though I'd run full speed into one of the hotel's glass walls. I sat there, in India, a false passport in my handbag, in disguise, a girl on the run, a girl missing, a girl whose family searched for her on the other side of the world, desperate and mourning, the terrible thing I'd done, leaving them behind because knowing more would hurt them. I took a shuddering breath, but no one would recognize me. Not the staff in this hotel, not the guests, not the couple next to me. They wouldn't put my face to the one in the paper. They really wouldn't. The picture was terrible. Not sure why they'd used that one. It wasn't the clearest or the best, but then I hadn't exactly been one for cameras and posing since Joshua. There just hadn't been much of the present I'd wanted to lock in and keep. My head rushed faster. For some reason, amongst it all, my mind stuck on that photo. Not the one in the paper, the actual photo. How I'd been that day, how I'd given in to Emma and let her take the picture of us. How I'd been waiting, always waiting. Just for time to pass, for things to get better, for the day that everything wouldn't hurt so badly, for something, anything to change. Until now. I wasn't waiting anymore. I might hurt, but I wasn't waiting. I'm living. My lips softened. For one sweet moment, that was more important than my disappearance featured on a newspaper not 3 feet away from me. Just for one moment, that fact mattered more. Then I saw Haithem's face. He wasn't looking at the paper. He looked at me, but he'd seen it. He'd seen it all right. His lips pulled across his teeth.